Some prisons in the South used to be literal slave plantations. In 1901, Mississippi purchased Parchman Farm to put incarcerated people to work, and it operated almost the same way a slave plantation would. Prisoners worked 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, picking cotton and plowing fields. They slept in long, single-story buildings called cages. The superintendent operated like a slave owner, and the white guards functioned like overseers. Parchman isn't the only plantation-turned-prison. There's also Angola in Louisiana, the largest maximum security prison in the US, and the Cummins Unit in Arkansas. So how was any of this legal? Because even though the 13th Amendment abolished slavery, it made an exception for people convicted of crimes. They could still be forced into manual labor. So the idea was, if you could get black people in prison, you could put them back to work on plantations. So that's when the black codes were introduced, where black people could get arrested for the most banal things, like being too close to a white person in public, hanging out after dark, or walking without a purpose. In some states, stealing a pig was punishable by up to 5 years in prison. This was as much about devising new ways to enforce a white racial hierarchy as it was about making money. You see, after the Civil War, the South's economy, which depended on slave labor, fell apart. But once Parchman was up and running, the state made about $5 million in today's dollars within 2 years, and it continued to be run like a slave plantation until the 1970s. That history of state violence continues to this day.
Water don't even run, man. Look at these walls. Look at all that mold and all these spots. Look at that window, man. You can't even get no air in the window, man.
Parchman has recorded dozens of deaths in the last few years, and is plagued by dismal conditions and violence.
Look at the flow.
As for the black codes, they're still all around us. Sitting in a coffee shop while black, driving while black, sleeping while black. Those are all legacies of criminalizing black people for slave labor.